300 Questions for the U.S. Citizenship Test, Part 10. The Judicial System and Landmark Supreme Court Cases. Anne and Mark meet once more in the familiar study room at the community center. Today, they're exploring the judicial system in the United States, including important Supreme Court cases that have defined American rights and freedoms.
Hello again, Mark. You've done an incredible job so far, learning about government functions, rights, and protections. Today, in Part 10, we'll dive into the U.S. judicial system, focusing on the structure of the courts and a few landmark Supreme Court cases that have shaped American society.
Thanks, Anne. I'm excited to understand how the courts work and learn about the cases that have influenced people's rights.
Question 1. First question, what is the highest court in the United States? A. The Court of Appeals. B. The Supreme Court. C. The District Court.
My answer is B. The Supreme Court.
Correct. The Supreme Court is the highest court, and its decisions set legal precedents that guide other courts. It has the final say on matters involving the Constitution and federal laws. Question 2. How many justices serve on the Supreme Court? A. 7, B. 9, C. 12.
My answer is B. 9.
Yes, there are 9 justices on the Supreme Court, including the Chief Justice. This odd number helps prevent tie decisions, making it easier to reach a majority ruling on cases. Question 3. What does it mean when a court has jurisdiction? A. The court can make laws. B. The court has the authority to hear and decide cases. C. The court oversees the legislative branch.
My answer is B. The court has the authority to hear and decide cases.
Correct. Jurisdiction refers to a court's authority over certain types of cases or geographical areas. For example, federal courts handle cases involving federal law, while state courts handle cases involving state law. Question 4. What landmark case established the principle of judicial review? A. Plessy v. Ferguson. B. Marbury v. Madison. C. Brown v. Board of Education.
My answer is B. Marbury v. Madison.
Exactly. Marbury v. Madison, 1803, established judicial review, allowing the Supreme Court to declare laws unconstitutional. This power enables the court to check the actions of Congress and the President. Question 5. Which case ruled that separate but equal facilities were unconstitutional? A. Brown v. Board of Education. B. Dred Scott v. Sanford. C. Marbury v. Madison.
My answer is A. Brown v. Board of Education.
Correct. In 1954, Brown v. Board of Education declared that segregation in public schools was unconstitutional, overturning the separate but equal doctrine. This case was a huge victory for civil rights. Question 6. What was the outcome of Miranda v. Arizona? A. Schools can censor student newspapers. B. People must be informed of their rights when arrested. C. Public prayer is allowed in schools.
My answer is B. People must be informed of their rights when arrested.
Right. Miranda versus Arizona, 1966, led to the creation of Miranda rights, requiring police to inform people of their rights to remain silent and have an attorney. This ensures fair treatment for suspects. Question 7. Which amendment provides the foundation for the right to an attorney in criminal cases? A. The First Amendment. B. The Sixth Amendment. C. The 10th Amendment.
My answer is B. The Sixth Amendment.
Correct. The Sixth Amendment guarantees the right to an attorney, ensuring that everyone has legal representation. This right is essential to a fair trial in criminal cases. Question 8. What is the role of the Court of Appeals? A. To create new laws. B. To review decisions made by lower courts. C. To enforce laws.
I think the answer is B. To review decisions made by lower courts.
Exactly. The Court of Appeals reviews cases from district courts to ensure that the law was applied correctly. It's a middle level between district courts and the Supreme Court. Question 9. What does the term precedent mean in the judicial system? A. The creation of new laws by Congress. B. A legal decision that serves as a rule for future cases. C. A method for electing judges.
I think the answer is B. A legal decision that serves as a rule for future cases.
Yes, a precedent is a past court decision that guides future cases with similar issues. It creates consistency in how laws are applied over time. Question 10. In which case did the Supreme Court rule that racial segregation in schools was illegal?
I think
A.
the answer
Roe
is
versus Wade.
B. Brown
B.
versus Board of
Brown
Education.
versus Board of Education. Correct. C.
Brown
versus Board of
Ferguson.
Education declared school segregation unconstitutional, striking down the idea of separate but equal. It was a milestone in the fight for civil rights. Question 11. What was the significance of Roe versus Wade? A. It upheld segregation in schools. B. It recognized a woman's right to privacy in making medical decisions. C. It allowed Congress to override the Supreme Court.
I think the answer is B. It recognized a woman's right to privacy in making medical decisions.
Right. Roe versus Wade, 1973, was a landmark decision that protected a woman's right to make personal medical decisions. This case centered on privacy rights under the 14th Amendment. Question 12. What is the purpose of judicial review? A. To make new laws. B. To declare laws unconstitutional. C. To enforce laws.
I think the answer is B. To declare laws unconstitutional.
Correct. Judicial review lets the Supreme Court decide if laws violate the Constitution. It's a powerful tool for ensuring that all laws align with constitutional principles. Question 13. Which case established that the right to free speech includes symbolic speech like wearing armbands? A. Miranda versus Arizona. B. Tinker versus Des Moines. C. Dred Scott versus Sanford.
I think the answer is B. Tinker versus Des Moines.
Yes. Tinker versus Des Moines, 1969, protected symbolic speech, ruling that students could wear black armbands to protest the Vietnam War. This case expanded the understanding of free speech. Question 14. What does it mean if a court decision is unanimous? A. All judges agree on the decision. B. The case was dismissed. C. Only one judge ruled on the case.
I think the answer is A. All judges agree on the decision.
Correct. A unanimous decision means that all judges or justices agree on the ruling, which strengthens the authority of the decision. Unanimous Supreme Court rulings often have a significant impact. Question 15. In which case did the Supreme Court rule that enslaved people were not citizens and could not sue in federal court? A. Brown versus Board of Education. B. Dred Scott versus Sanford. C. Miranda versus Arizona.
I think the answer is B. Dred Scott versus Sanford.
Correct. The Dred Scott decision, 1857, ruled that enslaved people were property and not citizens. Although later overturned, it was a major factor that heightened tensions leading to the Civil War.
Anne smiles, impressed with Mark's grasp of complex judicial concepts and cases.
Great job, Mark. Knowing about these landmark cases and the role of the courts really helps you understand how the legal system protects rights and adapts to new challenges.
Thank you, Anne. Learning about these cases has shown me how important the judicial system is for protecting freedoms and ensuring fairness.
Exactly. The courts play a vital role in upholding democracy by interpreting laws and checking other branches. You're doing wonderfully.
Mark leaves, feeling a deeper appreciation for the judicial system and its role in defining and defending rights. He's excited to continue his journey towards citizenship with a solid understanding of how American laws are shaped and upheld.